Hey guys, it's time for SVU here at AFTERBUZZ. We are talking season 16, episode 18, Devastating Story. We have so much to talk about. Oh, I'm so excited. Stick around.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hello and welcome to the SVU After Show here on AFTERBUZZ. If you have not already, go to youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV. Hit subscribe. We're also on iTunes and SoundCloud. You can subscribe there as well. I'm your host, Yael Tyiel. You can tweet at me live during the show at Yael Tyiel. That is YAELTYGIEL. Be sure to use the hashtag ABTVSVU. My lovely dancing co-host will be monitoring that.
Yeah.
Lauren Salaun.
Yeah, I am. Hey guys, Lauren Salaun here. Super excited to be back after a few weeks off. You guys can find me everywhere online at Lauren Salaun. That's LAURENSALAUN. And I've got the chat up right now, so let's talk.
Awesome. Before we jump into season 16, episode 18, Devastating Story, a great freaking episode. I want to remind everybody of a hotline that they may need. If you know someone or if you are in danger and need someone to talk to, we have a hotline for you.
Yep.
Take it away, Lauren.
It is the RAIN, the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network hotline. That's 1-800-656-HOPE, 1-800-656-HOPE.
Awesome. And for those who may have been in a situation, this episode may not be the one for you because we're going to make some awful jokes. Well, they're great jokes. They're inappropriate jokes. So we give you this warning at the beginning. If you can't handle it, we suggest not handling it. Yeah?
That was so nice.
That was my polite way of saying it.
Yeah, we've got sensitive subject we're dealing with, and we crack jokes. So
right, because sometimes it's real serious.
You've been warned.
Yeah, it gets real serious, and the only way to deal with serious is to not be.
Sometimes, yeah.
Perfect. On that note, let's jump into this episode.
Let's do it.
Okay, so we start with this cop show.
It's so cheesy. I was watching it last night, rewatching it, like for the fourth time or something, and everybody in my house, like my brother was there, my husband and stuff, everyone's like, what the hell are you watching? I'm like, it's SVU. What? I'm like, no, trust me, it is. We'll get to it.
Right. Yeah, so we start and it's America's Worst Crime, which...
So cheesy.
Okay, here's where I got real angry, because later in the show, when they're like having a problem with them, they're like, aren't you an investigative journalist? Didn't you vet this? And all I could think was, no, it's a TV show.
Yeah.
It's like expecting SVU to crack the case for us.
Right, and with Liv being like, this isn't just like LMZ, this is a reputable news outlet.
No,
I'm
it's
like,
not.
no, it's not. It's like based off of true events sort of thing. Maybe this is what's happening. Like,
this is a dramatization.
Yeah.
You made the girl blonde. The girl's a brunette. That is not a dramatization. So anyway, America's Worst Crime, which apparently everybody watches in New York.
I know, the mayor, everyone.
I believe, so she gets a call, Olivia's watching this with Noah, and the greatest line ever is, you will not be going to Hudson University.
I know, and I feel like that was so self-reflective, like, of the writers, and because so much crap has happened at Hudson University, right. And so, they're kind of like... Yes. Poking fun at that.
Well, because on this show specifically, we've asked the fans to give us a list of episodes where rapes had occurred at Hudson, because Hudson is a fictitious university. That said, I looked up the address that they give us in the Dun-Dun.
Yes.
It was I believe it was 204 Riverside Drive in Manhattan.
Oh, that's like on my street.
No,
ooh, I shouldn't say
no,
things like that.
You should not.
What? My street I used to live on.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's in New York, but it's on the Hudson, and I believe it's like near Columbia, which I was like, guys, don't put this fictitious rapey college next to
an actual college.
Yeah, you're gonna confuse people. But I decided to map it today on Google Maps.
Nice. So everyone can go visit Hudson College, which is probably
University.
nothing. Oh, university. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna be honest. Next time I'm in New York, I'm absolutely gonna go visit Hudson University. Anywho, so the story that we hear is Jane tells what was his name? Skip. His name was Skip. Skip Stupid. Hold on. It was Skip Peterson. played by Rob Morrow. And I don't know if you know this, but I love all things lawandorder.blogspot.com. They're as crazy as I am.
I have the article up.
The real article?
I mean, about this episode.
Well, so I love them, and their review of this episode was, what a waste of Rob Morrow. Which, that makes me giggle, because I don't know who he is. So I was like, oh, sure.
Yeah, he's been in tons of stuff. Numbers.
Okay.
Main guy.
Yeah. So anyway, he's Skip Peterson. Yep, that sounds right. And
yes.
He's interviewing Jane, and Jane discloses that she was on a date with a hockey player, and they went back to his room, and out of the shadows came 3 other guys. They took turns on her, and then when she left, they gave her a walk of shame, including throwing things at her and publicly shaming her. Surprising they didn't have a guy with a bell going, shame, shame. It's like Game of Thrones reference.
I know. I was like, wait, I just watched that. Someone actually does that.
Yeah. I really want that. I want that in my apartment. I want to be able to push a button when someone leaves and have shame. Oh. That'd be fun. Anyway, I got distracted. Where were we? All right, so she's revealing what happened.
Yes.
Dodds calls Olivia, who's watching this, and says that the mayor's wife was watching, and says SVU has to go check it out. So SVU goes to Skip, and Skip goes, I'm not going to tell you who, but you can talk to this professor. And we meet Professor Dylan, who is played by Laura Frazier, who any Breaking Bad fans know as Lydia. Fun fact, she's Scottish.
Oh.
Right? Because I've only seen her play Americans.
Yeah.
But she's real Scottish.
Okay.
Yeah, fun facts.
Great job there.
Yeah. As Professor Dylan, who I wanted to punch in the face.
She's the worst.
She is the worst.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, your heart's in the right-ish place.
Is
it? Ish, but you're going a little overboard there, lady.
Yeah. What surprised me about her is when we finally discover that Jane is Heather, and they come in to make their statement, and I get the idea that she wants to be there to support, and I get the idea that, she's going to hold her hand. But you, of all people, as her advocate, should know to shut your frickin' mouth.
Yeah.
Right? Like, let her disclose, otherwise this isn't going to happen.
Right. She's just so far off the deep end with it that it's like, she's like got a war mentality. Like, oh, it's okay if we have a few casualties if we win the war.
Right.
Is pretty much what her perspective is.
She pretty much says that at the end. Oh, remind me, I want to talk about everything she says at the end.
Okay.
So we get this disclosure that it was not one guy, or that it was 4 guys, even though when Liv goes to talk to the president of Hudson, she disclosed that it was 1 guy. So now we know who the guys are. They decide to take action. We meet the sleaziest 4 guys in the frickin' world. I don't remember their names. All I remember was there was the guy she liked, the skeezy sleaze with the face, I'm so embarrassed I did this, and then the soccer player who was out of town. Right? That's what they were.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think that was
a good assessment. Yeah, I like that.
Those are their names now. So we take them in, we hear all these different stories, and then she goes and starts doing all these publicity tours and is like, they caught 3 out of the 6 guys. And I appreciate that our team spends most of their time in the squad room watching the news. And they're like, wait, 6? 6 guys? So ridiculous. So ridiculous.
And then, of course, our advocate woman is like, well, sometimes these details, which is true. Like, sometimes, like, you don't remember every little detail in your first conversation about what happened. But, like, 4 versus 6 guys, like, I feel like you kind of,
my thought was either there were a bunch of guys, I don't know how many.
Right.
Right? Like, more than 2, more than 3, I would say you lose count.
Yeah.
I'd believe that. So knowing that it was 4, and then knowing at 6, I'm going to be real honest, I feel like at 6, you'd be like, I don't know, there were a bunch of them.
Yeah.
They were everywhere. They were coming at me from every angle. Yeah. Yep.
Sorry.
I was with you.
Yep.
We're awful. We are awful today. We gave you a warning.
We've had a few weeks off.
I haven't had anyone to talk to about this. Anyway, so Barba's not sure what he can do, and we're blaming Hudson. And then we find out that there are just all of these big holes in her story, and Skip has to go and take his retraction. And then the most unfortunate part in the end is that we know one of the guys actually did rape her. And there's nothing they can do because she torpedoed the case.
Yeah.
And when Heather says to Benson, like, you're just going to walk away like he did or whatever. No, she said, he turned and walked away like you are now. That's what she said. If I were Benson, luckily I'm not, because I would have been like, no, you torpedoed this case, right? Like, we could have done this. We told you not to go to the press, and you said, well, I'm the face of this movement. Yeah. We're starting this dialogue about rape culture, which is necessary. But as Benson says to the president of Hudson later, like, yeah, she took the whole discussion of rape culture back 30 years. And I don't blame her for what happened. And she's absolutely not at fault for being assaulted. I would never blame a victim. But she absolutely is to blame for the case torpedoing.
Yes.
Which has nothing to do with her victim status. She just ruined her shot at getting justice.
Completely. Yeah.
So the other thing that happened in this episode that I wanted to talk about was this Carisi Rollins situation. So when they're first talking to Professor Dillon, and he said, we can either go through you or we will go above or around you. And she said, what a phallic metaphor.
Right.
Absolutely. I had plenty of professors in college like her, and I loved them all so much, sister friends. I loved it. Yes?
Hanan's comment. She's jumping right on board with the tone going on here. She said, if all the holes are filled, then it's more than 3.
Excellent point.
With the number of people.
Excellent
Good point. Yes. Thank you.
That said, Hanan, just to discuss this case, they were taking turns. They weren't all sharing. Right? So, like,
yes, that was the understanding, that it wasn't like a
it wasn't all at once.
Gang bang. It was
a gang rape.
Trade.
Was it trade?
I don't know.
It was tag teaming.
Yes.
Because in wrestling, I've recently learned about wrestling. You go in and then you tag your teammate, and they go in, you go out.
Yeah, a relay. It was a type of
the sound
rape relay.
Effects tonight are great.
This is disgusting.
Yeah, but excellent point, Hanan. If all the holes are filled and there are still more coming at you, yeah, it's more than 3.
Or something very curious is going on.
I'd be impressed.
More than 3.
Yeah, more than 3. So anyway, so Carisi makes his phallic statement, and Rollins goes, he's a work in progress. And I saw this and went, she's trying to appeal to this woman's craziness. And Carisi was like, what was that crack? Carisi, where have you been? Do you not know how this works? I know you're still a new puppy, but, like, that's what you do. And the best part was, later when he went to the frat to interview them, he did the same thing. Like, I learned a new skill today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When he says to him, like, just between us bros. She was asking for it, right?
Right, yeah. It's like it's our baby Carisi before he kind of gets a little bit savvier with things.
I don't like babies.
Yeah, okay. Puppy.
He's like Carisi. A puppy. He's like a little puppy.
Trying hard.
Yeah.
Trying real hard. And not quite getting everything, but... No. It's so fun, though, to see, like, how much changes from, like, a season later. It's not even that much time.
Absolutely. All right. Is there anything else from the plot that you want to talk about?
Oh, I don't.
Right? Because just a reminder of who the 3 boys were. So. There's the one she liked, Skeezy McSleazer face.
Yeah.
The one with the, what did I do face. And then the one who's playing soccer.
Yeah.
Those are the ones?
Exactly.
Great. And there may have been 2 more. Okay, good. Before we move on, good thing I remembered, thanks for reminding me, was...
about talking about the end?
With the professors. Yeah, okay. It doesn't matter how many and how they did it and where and which hole and what. And I went... Yes,
I know, you're like, what? What's happening? thing. I loved Barbara.
I like when he goes,
Barbara's like,
yes, it does.
Dumbfounded.
Yeah.
It's like, we are trying a legal case here based on actual events that occurred, not rape in general as a thing that happens in the world.
It just bothers me that as a rape advocate or a survivor advocate, she was so stupid about it. Mm-hmm. That really pissed me off.
Yeah. Well, she's just so like way too in the thick of it, and like,
but she's in the thick
way
of
too
like
deep.
The theory and the philosophy as opposed
practical.
to what actually occurred. Mm-hmm. So frustrating. Okay. Any final thoughts on the story, the plot, because we still have so much more to talk about?
I think we're good on plot wise.
Okay.
Yes. I feel good.
Guys, I want to take a moment to thank you. Yay! Thank you for listening to our show. Thank you for joining us live in the chat. Thanks, Hanan, for adding...
And Librarian XO1 or something. There are a few others.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
But
guys.
less because we've been on a break.
Yes, but also because we're going back and doing old episodes. Mm-hmm. But the reason we know to go back and do episodes we missed, and that we will continue to do that throughout the summer, is because of you. That's right. If you go to iTunes and subscribe, that way you don't miss an episode. That way, if you didn't know we were doing this episode today, it'll pop up in your phone. It'll just do that. So, subscribe. Also, rate and review us. If you like us, you can give us 5 stars. And if you don't like us, you can give us 4 stars. Look at that. 5 you like us, 4 you don't. And leave a comment. Bang on the keyboard. Let us know what we're doing well, what we could be doing better, what your most offensive joke is. Please let us know, right?
Yeah.
We'd welcome that.
Yeah.
And if you do that, we'll read it live on the air.
We will.
Especially if it's a really offensive joke.
Yes.
That's awful. We'll do that. We're awful people. So please do that. That's what we give you. We don't have any new ones because we were on break.
Right.
So next time.
But we did have some excellent ones this last time. So
people
keep
love
them coming.
us. It's surprising. Anyway, all right. Let's talk about the real story that this is based on. That's right. This is actually based on a real story.
Actually, did we do the one from May 31st? I think
know.
so.
Read it.
I love this after show. I'm so happy to found a place where people as enthusiastic about SVU.
Keep reading.
Okay. Sorry, I have to start this over. That's not how I read reviews.
I know.
Okay. 5, all caps. 5 stars. Emoji hands. Best after show ever. Heart. 5 stars.
What color heart?
Red hearts. Okay. Red heart from SVU fan. Sorry.
Great.
I
SVU?
love.
Is it SVU?
Yes, the capitalization or lack thereof threw me off.
Lauren.
SVU Voy fan. See, and there's other letters. It just doesn't make sense. But anyway, oh boy.
I'm so disappointed in you.
Brain on. Okay, reading the review now.
Yeah.
I love this after show. I'm so happy to have found a place where people are as enthusiastic about SVU as I am. You guys are amazing. Yael. I love how you make connections to other seasons. I do the same thing. Yay! Lauren, you are amazing, and I love how you interact in the chat. Thanks. I try to watch it live as much as possible. Isabel, I love your info corner.
Yay!
It's great.
Info corner.
And Jesse is so funny. I love him. Keep going, guys. You are amazing. I have a suggestion for you, an old ep to review, Penetration and Secrets Exhumed. Can't wait for more. Emoji hands. Hard eyes. Smile. Done.
I like when Lauren reads emojis. So please feel free to write a review that is just emojis. Awesome. Thank you for that. And thank you for your suggestion. Remind me those.
Okay, I'll copy it right now.
Yes. So the real story that this is based on, guys. Okay.
Yes.
So an article that was published in Rolling Stone called A Rape on Campus, which claimed to describe a group sexual assault at the University of Virginia. Mm-hmm. It was discredited and retracted by the publisher, but it claims that several members of Phi Kappa Psi fraternity raped a woman on initiation night. As an initiation rite, my apologies, I can read. Anyway, so then they found a bunch of discrepancies and they apologized, and this happened. This a woman claimed she was raped, and
Like, it's like exactly the same type of situation.
Good for SVU. So that's the story it's really based on. Mm-hmm. But what I want to talk about, unless you have something to add.
I mean, I just think it was interesting how like several other publications and things named this like the error of the year or the media fail of the year, because there were so many discrepancies that it was just such poor investigative journalism on Rolling Stone's part.
And they had to apologize, and so did the author of the thing. So both the publisher and the managing editor said that she would continue to write for the Rolling Stone. That's great.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, yeah, so like that happens, you know, sometimes people get facts wrong. The fact that it seems everything was wrong, you know.
Because they even went like after that and had like a police investigation after this and talked to like tons of Jackie's friends and everything and couldn't find any real evidence to support the claims. Yeah.
And it seems somebody at Columbia University School of Journalism started to investigate the failures behind the publication and wrote a review of the article in Rolling Stones and on the journalism school's website. That's like so interesting that it became a discussion about journalism. Whereas...
Well, I mean, it should. I mean, the article took off. Like it... what was I saying? It like went crazy viral when it was published. So yeah, when you're doing something like that, like, yeah, if it's not factual, then what's the point of what you're doing?
Right.
You know, you're not doing your job.
Yeah. So I want to switch gears and go into news, because I have some real SVU news for us.
Yes, we do.
AfterBuzz TV News.
So unless you've been living under a rock, you have heard of rapist Brock Turner. That is his full and complete name, and that is what he will be referred to as. So rapist Brock Turner got drunk at a party and sexually assaulted and finger raped an unconscious woman behind a dumpster in Stanford. I am disgusted to say that Stanford is in Palo Alto, and that's where I'm from. And he was stopped during his assault by two students on a bicycles that found him.
Yeah, came across it and pulled him off of the girl.
Yeah, saw him humping a body that wasn't moving and chased him down. He got arrested, went to trial. She woke up with no memory of what happened. And he was convicted of 3 counts of sexual assault.
3 unanimously, like everybody guilty.
No question asked. And he got sentenced to what he could have gotten was 14 years, but instead got 6 months, which anyone who knows anything about how the court works or has watched any episode of SVU knows that there's a thing called good behavior, and that he will probably be out in a lot less than 6 months. And so his father wrote a statement, because it seems that rapist Brock Turner was on the swim team and was a good swimmer. That's all I got on that one. So his father wrote a statement that said that, this would really ruin the rest of his life and impact him, and he's a good child.
Boo-hoo, you little
yep.
Swear words.
His father said, well, how could you expect, a 20-minute act to, define the rest of his life? Okay. Anyway, so the victim wrote, or the survivor, as Professor Dillon would call her, wrote a very thorough...
I have such a hard time reading that.
You didn't read the whole thing?
I did, but I have to like take breaks and stuff.
I suggest reading it. We will absolutely make sure that we tweet it out.
I can tweet it right now. I think I have it.
It's incredibly long, but it is necessary, and she explained a lot about... Sorry, my phone decided to start dictating what I'm saying. It's a statement that she read to rapist Brock Turner about how the 20-minute action he took will impact the rest of her life, which is what matters. So this judge has been getting a lot of hate, understandably. The judge apparently claims that he took rapist Brock Turner at his word, that he feels bad. The thing is, according to the woman's statement, if rapist Brock Turner had acknowledged what happened and apologized and taken a plea, she would have been fine with that. She didn't want it to go to court.
Yeah.
But it did. And then throughout the entire court trial, it was said that because she doesn't remember,
they were able to
say,
twist it all around and turn it on her. Like, and yeah, in her letter, she's just like, I didn't like what I'm looking for. Like, we can't fix or change what happened, but you can admit to what you did, you know, and take responsibility for how you did this and how it is in some way like has destroyed our lives and fundamentally changed both of our lives.
Yeah.
And apologize and take ownership for that. But no, the only thing you're willing to admit to is drinking too much.
Right.
And that's what is wrong.
Yeah.
You drank too much and that's why this happened. But no, buddy, plenty of people drink too much and don't go rape people.
Yeah,
part's the problem.
There are a lot of reactions that have come out from this, and it's a 12-page statement. I'm trying to, great. It's on BuzzFeed.
I've got it. I'll tweet it right now.
Great. Some things that are important from it is, I remember when I talked about that T video, the consent as T.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that part too. She's like, oh, I didn't say, like, you thought I liked it because I tapped your back? Like, I rubbed your back?
Yeah, I gave you a back rub.
Like, what about the fact that I couldn't speak?
Right.
Like, what does that mean?
So he said, apparently, that he did not intend to take her, to go back to her room. But she said, well, did you know my name? Did you say anything to me? Mm-hmm. So they didn't say anything to each other. It's just, there's no way. Anyway. So this is a statement that we will share with everybody because you should absolutely read it. And it's really, the situation is crazy. So the judge from that case recently was removed from a sexual assault case that he was put on. The lawyers were like, no, we would like to ask that this judge is removed from this case. The fact that it was right before elections that this all came out and that he still got reelected is crazy to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a crazy situation, and it really is something that should be talked about. So apparently, rapist Brock Turner plans to go and like talk to people about the effects of, as he says, drinking and sexual promiscuity
that comes with it.
Yeah, which
I love how in her statement she talks about that. She's like, it's not like drink like a burger and a side of fries. Like, oh, that just throw it on there. Like not everyone who drinks or who gets wasted goes out and rapes or sexually assaults somebody. This isn't like a it's not a package deal, dude.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to talk about what the problem is, go talk to people about not sexually harassing people or assaulting people.
Yeah. So this is part of the statement. She from the victim. She says, he said he had asked if I wanted to dance. Apparently, I said yes. He'd asked if I wanted to go to his dorm. I said yes. Then he asked if he could finger me, and I said yes. Most guys don't ask, can I finger you? Usually there's a natural progression of things unfolding consensually, not a Q&A. But apparently I granted full permission. He's in the clear, even in his story. I only said a total of 3 words, yes, 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 before he had me half naked on the ground. Future reference. If you're confused about whether a girl can consent, see if she can speak an entire sentence. You couldn't even do that. Just one coherent string of words. Apparently, what was the confusion? This is common sense, human decency. According to him, the only reason we were on the ground was because I fell down. Note, if a girl falls down, help her get back up. If she's too drunk to even walk and falls down, do not mount her, hump her, take off her underwear, and insert your hands inside her vagina. If a girl falls down, help her up. If she's wearing a cardigan over her dress, don't take it off so that you can touch her breasts. Maybe she's cold. Maybe that's why she wore the cardigan. What does a person think? I just can't.
Yeah. And there's another article I found, actually came out this morning, saying Stanford tried to silence women's creepy stories about Brock Turner during rape trial. That several women on the women's swim team came forward and said that he was very inappropriate and made them uncomfortable, and they didn't I don't think that was part of any sort of testimony or anything in court, which that obviously doesn't necessarily mean anything, but still that everyone was very that nobody, so that Brock's arrest wasn't, this is a quote, Brock's arrest wasn't surprising to anyone on the team, a source described as a Stanford swim team insider told the magazine.
It's crazy. Disgustingly crazy. So that's the story of rapist Brock Turner. And as updates come out, we will absolutely bring them to our show because this is the show to bring them. I want to switch gears to a happier news. Because rapist Brock Turner really pisses me off. So, as we know, SVU has been renewed for an 18th season. That's a ridiculous thing to say out loud. 18 beautiful seasons. And we have the NBC fall schedule was released. That's right. Lauren, I think there's something you'd like to tell us.
There is. You guys, Law & Order will be returning on September 21st.
Correct.
Yep.
Awesome. And that's the great news right there.
Yeah, that is. That's the news.
That's the news. Okay, so
a couple months away.
Because we can't really do predictions, but the next episode is season 16, episode 17, granting immunity. Season 16, episode 19, granting immunity. The final episode of season 16 that we missed. That's so funny. So we will be doing that. Yes?
Oh, I'm just saying to Hanan's comment. So yes, the story we're talking about, the Brock Turner rape story, happened after the episode, but the UVA, so the story it was based off of, which was another college campus rape, alleged rape, happened obviously before the episode.
Yes. Rapist Brock Turner's story is a current news segment that is happening, that recently occurred. The rape was last January. The trial was this year. And all this happened just before elections. So a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
We were on break. So next week, season 16, episode 19, granting immunity. And through the summer, because we are all caught up, but we love this show, and there happen to be 17 whole seasons. In fact, there are 15 seasons that we have not talked about.
We will be doing this for the rest of our lives.
That sounds great. So we are going to ask you, the fans, to tweet at us what episodes you want us to cover. I know Allie has tweeted at me an immense amount of titles of episodes. Allie, I do see the tweets. Unfortunately, I've been very busy. I was out of town for most of those tweets. All great episodes, except I think you tweeted me one. I went, I don't like that episode. We're taking notes. We're keeping a list. We will absolutely discuss. So you will tweet at us what episodes you want us to discuss. We will choose and do them. And next week we'll have a schedule for you.
So fancy.
Yeah. So get it in before next Wednesday and I'll have a schedule. I'm going to make that up. And we have the two from the comment, or the 1, 2.
Yes, I screenshotted them.
Yay! So Lauren, where can people tweet at you what episodes they want us to cover?
You guys, tweet at me at Lauren Salaun. That's LaurenSalaun. That's also where you can find me everywhere else, like Instagram and Snapchat, where I frequent.
She does frequent Snapchat a lot. Also, if you are not on Twitter, you can comment below on YouTube or on iTunes. Yeah. And you can find me everywhere at Yael Tyiel. That's YAELTYGIEL. And I have a podcast. It's called Intimate Interrogations. It's free. And it's on the interwebs. It's on iTunes if you have that. And if you don't, just Google it. It's there. Intimate Interrogations. Sometimes it's dirty. Sometimes it's not. But
it's always intimate.
Always intimate. Wow, stroking the microphone, Lauren.
You know, my episode was sexual.
That's true. Great. So we will be back next week, and we'll see you there. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Dun dun dun.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.